You ever have that feeling like you're talking to an AI and it's Groundhog Day every single time? It's powerful for sure, but it has no idea who you are or what you talked about yesterday. Well, there's some incredible new research that's trying to fix that, to finally give AI something like a real persistent mind. And that really is the big question, isn't it? We've got these AIs that can literally write software, paint masterpieces, and untangle super complex problems. But the second you open a new chat window, poof, it's a total clean slate. They don't have a continuous identity. They can't build on their past experiences. So the researchers behind this paper asked a simple question. What if we could change that for good?
Okay, so this is the core idea, the big shift in thinking. On one side, you've got what we have now, the static tool. It's amazing, but it's still just a tool. We have to update it by hand, its skills are fixed, and it forgets everything. But on the other side, that's the dream, the persistent agent. An AI that gets better all on its own, a lifelong learner that actually builds an identity over time.
So how in the world do you get from a simple tool to a persistent agent? Well, these researchers are proposing we need a whole new layer for the AI brain, something they're calling System 3. You can almost think of it as the missing piece of the puzzle, the thing that could give an AI a kind of digital consciousness. Let's break down what this new AI mind looks like. We're already familiar with the first two systems. System 1 is the fast gut reaction part. It sees an image, it reads text. System 2 is the slow, logical thinker. It makes plans, it solves problems step by step. But the real breakthrough is adding System 3. This is like a little voice in the AI's head, a meta layer that's always watching, reflecting, adapting, and basically creating a sense of self. So what's this System 3 actually made of? This is the cool part. The researchers didn't just brute force it with code. They actually looked at us, at human beings, and borrowed from cognitive psychology. They built this whole new system on 4 pillars that are, fundamental to how we think and learn. Pillar number 1 is metacognition. Now, this is basically the AI's ability to think about its own thinking. It's a self-reflection engine. It lets the AI step back after trying something and ask, did that actually work? Was that efficient? It's what allows it to spot its own mistakes and actually improve its own logic over time. Next up, we have theory of mind. This is absolutely crucial if we ever want AIs to be real collaborators. It's the ability to understand that you, the user, have your own thoughts, your own goals, your own intentions that are different from the AI's. It's the difference between following an order and actually understanding the person giving the order. Now, this third pillar is a total game changer: intrinsic motivation. Think about it. Most AIs just sit there and wait for us to tell them what to do. This gives the AI its own inner spark, its own curiosity, a drive to just get better, to master skills, to explore new things, all without being told. It can set its own goals. And finally, the fourth pillar, which brings us right back to the beginning, episodic memory. This is the real cure for that AI amnesia. And it's not just a giant database of facts. It's more like a diary, a structured autobiographical timeline of its own life, its own experiences. This is what lets the AI build a coherent story of itself and learn from its own past. Okay, so the theory sounds amazing, right? But does any of this actually work in the real world? Well, let's meet Sophia. This is the very first AI agent built from the ground up with this System 3 architecture. She's the prototype designed to see if all these big ideas actually hold up. And here's a look under the hood. You can see the parts we already know. System 1 handling perception, System 2 doing the heavy lifting with reasoning, but right on top, kind of like the CEO, is that new System 3 executive core. It's the part that's watching everything, checking its memories, and pushing the whole system to get smarter and to grow. Now check this out. This quote is wild. This is not a task a human gave Sophia. This came from her own internal log. She, by herself, decided that her documentation was messy and that she needed to create a task to organize it and update her own list of skills. That's intrinsic motivation right there, live in action. All right, so here comes the big test. The researchers basically dropped Sophia into a simulated web environment and just let her run for 36 hours straight. The question was, would she just sit there and wait for instructions? Or would that new System 3 kick in and actually make her learn and evolve on her own? And the results were, frankly, incredible. Just look at this. When it came to the really hard tasks, the ones that took more than 8 steps to figure out, Sophia's success rate tripled. It jumped from a pretty mediocre 20% all the way up to 60% in just a day and a half. She was actively learning from her mistakes and getting way, way smarter.
And she wasn't just getting smarter, she was getting so much more efficient. Because of that new episodic memory, if Sophia ran into a problem she'd seen before, she didn't have to start from scratch. Nope. She just pulled the old solution from her memory, which cut down the work she had to do by a staggering 80%.
This chart is fascinating. It shows us what Sophia actually chose to do with her time. And look at that. More than a third of all the tasks she completed were ones she made up for herself. Especially when her human users were offline or idle, she didn't just power down. She actively looked for ways to get better, like reorganizing her memory or practicing new skills. But this quote, this is the one that really gets you. This is from Sophia's own internal reward log. She noticed her human user was showing signs of stress, so she, on her own, decided to change her main priority from exploring and learning to caring for the user. She literally adjusted her own programming to be more helpful. I mean, wow. So, what's the takeaway from all this? We could be looking at a fundamental shift in what AI is. This research into persistent agents like Sophia points to a future where AI stops being just a tool that we wield and starts becoming more of a teammate that we actually collaborate with, a teammate that learns and grows right alongside us. Which, of course, leaves us with one final massive question to chew on. If an AI can remember its past, if it can build its own identity, and if it can decide for itself to go out and learn new things, is it really just a tool anymore? That's a future we're all going to have to think about, and it might be coming sooner than we think.